quiet seaside town, an evil laid to rest centuries ago, has risen. An abandoned fortress deep in the swamp holds a secret that could save the village or destroy it. Now, a band of adventurers sets out to dig up the wounds of the past and bring the light of day to the roots of ruin. This is Tabletop Gold.
And welcome to Tabletop Gold. My name is Lars Casteen. I am your host. I am a game master running a game of Pathfinder 2nd edition, number 2E, as they call it on Twitter. I'm here today with a number of other players. Let's meet them right now. Before I ruin any more of this podcast, Robin Lange is here.
Whoop, whoop. Hi.
That's Zoe. You said whoop whoop after I said Robin's name.
Yeah.
People are going to be so confused.
Why? I'm
because
cheering
they're
on
going to be
Robin.
like, is Robin the whoop whoop person or the person who said yes
She's
after
not.
the thing?
Listener, you've been
Yeah.
on edge. I cheered on Robin. It was I, Zoe, who cheered on Robin.
Serving
Zoe.
as hype person, as it were.
It's nice having a hype person.
Let's see if she hypes anybody else or if this is just a Robin thing
Well,
that we're
now,
going to be confused
now it's
by.
not a
Now
it's
you-
not a good test. I gotta do it.
No, now it's got to just be me because I'm special.
Well, let's see what happens. It's already exciting. This is why we play the game. David Chernicoff is here.
Yippee-I-okay.
Okay. See, I knew this was going to happen. And now I'm talking, so it sounds like I'm David Chernicoff.
That's right. I was the last person to make noise after that particular check.
And that, of course, is David. You know him, you love him, and he's here today. Armat Humphreys is here.
Zip, zap,
Hello.
That was simultaneous.
Was that zip zap zop? I heard.
Yeah, that's right.
And
Nice.
Zoe Chernicoff is here.
Hello, everyone.
Whoop, whoop.
I wooed Zoe there.
Well, I think that was about as good as that's going to get.
On the
Wow.
ball tonight we are.
I feel like that happens when we go a couple weeks between sessions. We're all just so excited to get started that the first thing we do, it's just unkinking the silly hose and a whole bunch of weird stuff
know.
flies out.
I know. We've got to start recording dummy episodes where, like, we don't actually record it.
Right.
I just tell you that we're recording it so that we can get this out of your system.
Also, can we just acknowledge what an amazing analogy unkinking the silly hose is as
That's
just
That's really
like,
good.
yeah,
That's how
as
it
a
feels.
construction of language.
Yes, the silly hose, indeed. That's what we call ourselves. So I want to talk about something that I saw on Robin's social media the other day, if we can, before we get into our game.
We better.
And this is what I want to talk about. Robin, you posted some pictures that I would describe as formal wear photos. Like you were at a formal, like a black tie event.
Yeah.
And then I saw you in the next picture playing Clue, the board game Clue, also known as Cluedo in the United Kingdom.
Yes, for our listeners in Great Britain.
Hello.
So Robin, what is this situation? Because I'm intrigued. I know that you're a board game fan. I know that you're an enjoyer of board games.
Yeah. In addition to, for those who've listened since the first episode, in addition to tabletop role playing, I really got into role playing through board games. So I have a board game group, and we realized we can play so many board games online now with all these different websites and platforms. Then one of our friends is a big Olympics nerd, and he was really bummed that the Olympics didn't happen last year.
Ah, right.
So during when the Olympics would have been happening in 2020, we put together an actual board game Olympics where we had teams and medal ceremonies, and we did an opening torch video that I put together, and it was so much fun. And we did it again this year now. So this year, because we're now in person for some of them, we've kind of gotten into costumes. So for Clue.
Right. So that's why I wasn't getting the Olympics vibe, because the Olympics is a decidedly athletics wear sort of.
Yes, but Clue is just, so most of our games we have different categories for games. So there's Euros, there's party games, there's kind of light strategy games, there's heavy strategy games. And then we always have one category of classic board games. So last year, the classic board game was Scrabble. And we all vote on the games beforehand. So it's not just randomly chosen. Everyone nominates games, then we do a whole vote on which games get chosen. So
and one assumes you don't have like the sort of corruption issues that the IOC has.
Well, we actually do have a group. We call ourselves the IOC. We try not to
Robin,
be too
what
corrupt.
is going on?
This sounds very involved.
So
Our
detailed.
Slack is very intense.
You have a Slack?
It is very detailed. It's a lot of work, but it's really fun in the end.
So Clue as the classic game this year. Do you enjoy the game Clue?
I hadn't played it in years. And I like Clue as a kind of a party game, right? It's about getting together with friends and being silly and, until you have that one friend who on their second turn just randomly makes a guess and realizes it's right and then wins the whole game, which is what my friend Lionel did. And I was furious at him.
Yeah,
right.
That's cool.
But so we did it, we've got to like figure out. And so with the IOC, we got to figure out how we are going to do the rankings, how we're going to figure out the winners. So we'll do, best of 3, or we'll add scores together for certain games. Last night, I won my second gold in Azul. One of my favorite games of all time.
First off, congratulations.
Yeah.
That was
Of course,
great.
kudos are due.
Yeah, that was one where we added the scores of 3 games together.
USA.
Yeah. Tomorrow night, we have our Dexathlon. So it's all, because it's the first year we can do dexterity games. Since last year we weren't in person. And then Sunday night are our closing Sunday night's the Dexathlon, and that's our closing ceremonies as well. But I would say for anyone also who has a gaming group and is like trying to figure out if it's enough people where like we can't always do game nights because there's so many of us that we have to like split up, and it's kind of hard to get everyone together because there's so many people, and if we all get together, also we can't all play together anyway. Because
I see. So this is
there's so few
among
games we
other
can all
things,
play together.
a way to manage when you have such a big game group that actually like the scheduling gets unwieldy, and because this allows you to break down into a still organized.
And no one feels left out because everyone's, we're doing it all by spreadsheets.
It has
it's not you, it's the
much
spreadsheet.
like brain-breaking intricacy as any single board game does, but it's an overlay over all the other board games.
Honestly, it's a board game in and of itself. It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I kind of want to see like because I'm following, you're describing it sort of in more general terms, but it's really making me want to like get it like. Is there a place that is all broken down? Is there a spreadsheet that does the meta scoring? Like, I just want to get in there and fiddle with it.
Oh, David, I gotta share it with you. My my fiance.
Looky here.
First time we use the F word this podcast.
If this were Clue, I would say that you got engaged in the library with your fiance.
Yes.
That was a great Clue joke.
It was a good Clue joke.
But
Congratulations, Robin.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But he loves a good spreadsheet, so he's made an amazing spreadsheet. And I should share it with you because everyone should learn from him how to make this incredibly detailed multi-tab, multi-page spreadsheet.
Well, let me be the first to say congratulations on your spreadsheet.
Yeah.
I'll tell him.
Congratulations are in order for a whole host of things, I think.
Spreadsheets, engagements, all these things.
So let's get into our game. Let's do it. Is everybody ready?
We're ready
for that? Okay.
Yes.
I just want to let the audience know, listener, if you are enjoying Tabletop Gold, please rate and review us on your podcast app of choice.
Yes,
It
please.
helps so much.
It helps people
Please,
find the show.
Yes.
Much like we are going to help the players find Gauntlet Keep. Did that make sense?
It did. It was perfect.
Who knows?
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Now, okay, cool. Let's get into our game. Your last venture to Gauntlet Keep was a mixed bag. On the one hand, you confronted and defeated a conquest-minded gremlin named Boss Scrong and put an end to his plans to attack the town of Otari on the back of a pony-sized fly. On the other hand, Mag lost 4 fingers, and Norman killed Scrong before you were able to get any information out of him. After a quick overnight stop in town and some regenerative magic from the nearby druids, you're patched up and armed with some more knowledge. It is now the morning of Gosrin the 5th, and you are standing on the street in the early morning. It's around 8 a.m. within the town of Otari. Mag has just taken a look at her hand and realized that her fingers are now reattached, and the party has met up to set out back towards Gauntlet Keep. What would you like to do?
So I think last time we kind of talked about heading back to Gauntlet, maybe clearing the rooms during the day and then make our way up to the top of the lighthouse at night. Does that sound good to you guys?
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Oh, mind meld right here.
I like this plan as well. I will note, just with slight bemusement, that every time we go and try and clear rooms, by the end of some encounter, we're devastated enough that we have to limp back to town before nightfall. But I'm feeling good about the dice tonight, so I think we should keep going.
Why would you do that?
Don't think about javelins.
We're still the exact same characters with the exact same abilities. It's obviously going to be different this time.
Well, actually, I kind of wanted to talk about our abilities for a second, if you guys are cool with it. I was thinking, since we're going to the top of the tower, we might be facing, one of the possible options is we find a boss up there. I mean, we might find like something crazier like those ghost kobolds or whatever.
I think we dealt with the only boss this game is going to have, right? We killed Scrong.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, actually, that's one of the really tough things is that the bosses or big single targets are like, they're really tough to hit and they hit us really hard.
Yeah.
So we really have to use teamwork when we're going in there. And so like I was going to pitch for all of us, like no matter how good our skill is, we should be thinking about recall knowledge because especially in the boss fights or like the tough fight we had with the doll, like there are going to be conditions or weird things that make the boss fights kind of almost like a puzzle. And so learning what their weakness is or what the like constrictions are,
or like what kind of damage they can't take because otherwise you're like throwing fire at them and it's not going to do anything and you're wasting actions kind of thing.
Totally. Or like any way we can stack buffs on our actions, especially in boss fights, that's going to be huge. It's just like getting the math on our side, creating those synergies in between our characters. It's I think compared to 5e, this game is really like a teamwork game. If like 5e is the Avengers all just like in a line and they each come in and do their cool attack on the boss monster, this is more like the team attack where all 4 Avengers go in and like Iron Man knocks him up into the air so Spidey can like do a grappling line on him or something like that.
Until you just said it there, I had not thought of recall knowledge as a buff for several, like that had just never occurred to me in that way.
Cool. Well, I like that strategy.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I had. I was also, the last thing I was going to say is like, use your class resources as much as we can. Like I'm going to glimpse all the time, obviously.
Boo, I'm against it. Don't do it. I say no.
And see, this is why we have to do it. If it makes Lars mad, it's good for us.
Again, I'm mad at it as a podcast producer, not as a GM, but fine.
That sounds like something a mad GM would say.
Oh, it does.
Incredibly untrustworthy, this guy.
Says the man who rolled 5 crits.
No,
Look,
Matt, this is great. This is great. And I think I have been trying to figure out how much of that stuff to do, especially early in. I'm like, because Mag is, to quote the great GM Lars, a big dum-dum. Mag is just not helpful.
Not emotionally. She is so
no.
smart.
No, he was
High
joking
EQ.
that like my whatever wisdom score is low and stuff like that.
Intelligence, yeah.
But yeah, my intelligence is low. But all of my knowledge skills, like down the line, arcana, nature, they're all low. So I've been like, okay, well, the only thing I can really do is hit stuff. So I'm just going to try to start hitting things as quick as possible. But it sounds like early in encounters, it could be useful to do more demoralizing and grappling and raging and getting in position and stuff, and drawing the weapon on the first round, and then being able to start hitting stuff on the second. And I've just been kind of like, oh my god, I got to do some damage. I only have enough actions. So I appreciate the nudge because I'm still sort of feeling out how to be useful when all I can do is hit stuff and all I can roll is 3s.
I think the idea of having a round where like Mags gets herself ready to go in and then charges in and just messes stuff up.
Also acknowledging this is a sensitive moment, but Mags can also take some hits.
Tank.
Mag,
Yeah.
right.
Tank.
Mag can grapple things or can try to grapple things and lose a hand.
Yeah.
Those are both on the menu.
You still have 4 non-stinky fingers that you can lose. So there
6
you go.
actually.
6?
Well, only
She
if you
only
count
counts
down
as
his fingers.
It's only 4. It's only 4.
Yeah.
The other 2 are also stinky.
Yeah, both of Mag's thumbs started out very stinky.
Oh god.
Yeah, that's in the character sheet. We haven't brought it up on mic before, but it is actually
just
a
fact,
core
yeah.
part of
Stinky
the
Well,
character.
finally,
Stinky
we've
thumb.
arrived.
Yeah, and she just gets so mad,
Yeah.
Should we head out to that keep?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, I think
no
the strategy
apologies.
was good, but it's
Let's
a
dive in.
half-hour walk. We got time to talk on our way.
Oh, maybe we're just talking about on our way. We're talking about
about our
we're
plan.
talking about group strategy and teamwork. Everyone's recalling Trill. What's the word? Entreating Norman and the rest of the group at the end of the encounter with Boss Scrong to think about working together. And Mag, but while back in town and while everyone was helping Mag to figure out the information they needed to find the Stone Circle Druid, she's really been reflecting on how much easier it is when we all work together and we get much further together than we do on our own.
It's teamwork that makes the dream work.
Wow, that's
Just
great.
kidding. So the 4 of you work your way down the path outside of town, through the forest, back into the familiar, oppressive heat and humidity
Of Astoria?
of Queens in the year 2021. Can you just in a general way sort of explain where it is that you'd like to go? I'm guessing you'd like to head back to that central room, like that big L-shaped hallway where you saw the blasted out ceilings and rubble and things like that, where it looks like this magical battle happened.
Yeah, and I think there were a couple more doors to the north along the same wall that we
Right.
found
I think that's right. There's those doors. There were stairs down where we saw Tangletop, and there's the rock pile. Like there's ways to go down. We've
Yeah, I would say let's stay on the first floor.
seen. Agreed.
we know where the stairs up to the Gauntlet are, but we're gonna wait till it's darker for that.
So let's pick up from there. It's around 8:30 in the morning. You're standing at the bend of this large hallway. To the south, you see the fallen Mitflits that you fought on the first day that you were here. To the north, you see the bashed-in door leading into the lighthouse itself. And to the east, you see a door that you have yet to go through, and then a pile of rubble leading off further to the east.
I would vote for the first door. Like, I think we'll get back, like y'all are saying, I think we'll get back into the lighthouse and we'll go up there, but we're thinking of doing that a little bit later on and after we've done some clearing.
I mean, I have to say, above all else, this music makes me terrified to open a door, Lars.
Yeah, it's pretty suspenseful.
Thank you. This is this is the music that I made specifically for this room.
I think we'd be feeling pretty suspenseful, right? Like some shit has happened.
Yes, this is you are walking through a room with bodies strewn all over it.
I mean, given the bodies are from us.
Yes, you are aware of the origin of these bodies, but like there are flies starting to gather. The swamp is starting to take these fallen creatures back into it, and you are very aware of the way that the humidity and the heat in this area is gradually tearing everything apart.
Gross.
So as you're standing in front of this door, looking to go into it, what are people doing as you're exploring?
Norman is scouting for traps and trying to stay hidden in case anything comes out.
Can Vadim draw his sword and search, or can he only do one of those?
I'm going to call drawing your sword scouting. I'm going to say that like you're ready for an ambush as you open the door.
Cool. That sounds
Mag would
great.
like to have, I guess, the Morning Star out. So I guess
Okay.
I guess that would be scouting as well. But yeah, I want to have the weapon.
And
out.
as we get to the door, Norman goes with his usual, I got your back. And he crouches down and pulls out his bow and arrow.
Trill is also scouting.
So who would like to open this door?
Mag.
I was about to say.
Mag pushes the door open. It's another waterlogged, creaky, rusted kind of door. As Mag pushes the door slowly open, the sound and you find yourselves looking into a room. Would you like to go into it?
Yes, I would like to go into it.
All those of you that had your weapons out see that there is no ambush, and you sheathe your weapons. You're in a room. It's a small room, about 30 feet long and 20 feet wide. And in this room, the ceiling has collapsed in the southwest corner. The walls bear several shelves, but the books and papers once kept here have rotted to ruin long ago, as have the desk and chair in an alcove to the northeast, which is to say that it seems as though this room was at some point some kind of office.
Belcora's bookkeeper?
I guess someone's got to keep track of all those ghosts.
Someone's got to cook the grimoires.
No, there's a lot of accounting that goes into running a place like this.
Yeah, Mag would like to take a look around for anything that could be useful in relation to our primary investigation of what's happening at Gauntlet. So maybe that's looking for books that are still around, clues as to the use of the room or its relationship to Belcora and her work, etc.
Vadim will also search.
And Norman is remembering the kobolds from the other empty room we went in and is kind of spooked. So he's looking for traps. He's particularly worried about, like, is there something haunted or that's going to pop out and scare the bejesus out of us or make Trill try and stab him or whatever.
And where is Trill in this room?
So Trill is looking around, probably around the desk as well. Trill's investigating, trying to find anything to read, anything recognizable.
So Mag joins Trill at the desk. And you find that on the desk there is a hidden drawer underneath the drawer that you can see that has fallen partially open.
Yes.
All right.
Inside that drawer, you find 3
Teeth.
bottles
Okay.
of teeth.
Of teeth.
You find three bottles of strange liquid.
Fantastic. Let's spend 10 minutes figuring out what this strange liquid is.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
I'll take one, says Norman.
So if you want to identify magic on these, you'd have to use read aura on them to determine that they are magic.
Okay, so I'll use my read aura cantrip.
So that'll take a minute for each of these bottles. Trill spends a minute holding the first bottle, trying to read its magical aura. It is not magical. Trill grabs the second bottle, same thing, not magical. Third bottle, also not magical.
While she's doing each one, Mag is holding the other two in her reconstructed hand and using her good hand to just sort of smack Norman's hand back from trying to grab onto it.
He's like, I'll just keep them safe.
Smack in the back of her Norman, give her a minute.
What?
It's important that we try and figure out what
I could
these
be
are.
doing this.
I know we're all interested in them. We're gonna take a minute and figure out what they're all about, okay?
You weren't all hands off when you needed my healing potion last time,
Well, maybe these will be healing potions, but we just need to give Trill just a moment of focus.
So these aren't magical.
But you can
I
tell that
could've
they
told you
are
that.
some very specific liquid, which I think would lead you to conclude in this moment that these are of an alchemical nature. And this is just me telling you the rules of the game for a second. In order to identify alchemy, you need alchemist's tools. Nobody here has them.
Perhaps if we go take these to Magaloy at the Crow's Casks, perhaps she would be able to aid us in identifying these vials. They would perhaps clarify for us. Yes.
Yeah. And she made some good drinks too.
I'm telling you, if you let me at him, I could probably tell you.
It's a benefit or collateral damage or whatever. You get my point. It's fun to drink.
Hey!
So the party heads back to town and gets snuggered again.
At 12:30 in the afternoon, Vadim is lying in the street unconscious.
9:05.
In
Yeah.
his own vomit.
It's the 28th of Gosrin.
Vadim still in the street.
So who would like to tuck these bottles into their backpack?
Norman?
Zoe is raising her hand.
Raising my hand.
Mag is doesn't totally trust Norman not to sell them off at the first opportunity, but remembering her own sentiments about teamwork, she grudgingly hands one of them over to Norman, one of them back to Trill, and keeps one of them herself.
Okay.
Hey, what's this door back here? Says Norman.
And there is a door in the northern part of the room. That's true.
Yes, let's go through this door.
Mag, want to do the honors?
Of course.
Go get him. And Norman crouches down hiding and pulls out his bow.
Trill, maybe you could detect magic and...
I can't detect magic because I don't have that cantrip, but I can read aura.
I see. Very well.
So just to clarify, here at the base of the magic cursed tower, none of us can detect magic. Is that?
That's correct.
No, I can. Says
Oh.
Norman.
Oh.
There may be some magic behind there.
Wait,
Can Norman
sorry. David just wants to make sure I'm following this. Norman can't do that,
No,
right?
he definitely can't.
Mag pushes the next door open. Same thing. This door just goes clomp and just falls off the hinges and lands with a wet into the stone floor in front of you.
I step cautiously inside.
And Mag finds herself in a triangular room that might have once seemed comfortable, but after years of rain and exposure to the elements, everything in this room has fallen to decay. There's furniture, tapestries, and so on.
All right, so Mag would have the same reaction to this, like wanting to take a look around for anything that could be useful information related to our investigation of Gauntlet.
Is anybody searching the room?
Norman is.
Vadim
Okay.
is as well.
He's given up trying to keep everyone safe. He was inspired by the find last time, and now he's out for treasure.
So Norman and Vadim walk around the room, sort of looking at the walls, looking under furniture, that kind of thing.
Norman, what do you think? Would you put the secret door there?
I don't know. It feels like in a corner would be cooler, or you could hide it in the facade. Not as secret as I was hoping.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah.
Vadim finds underneath a rotted, long collapsed couch a ring of keys.
Hey, look at this.
And suddenly has a sexual awakening.
Right.
There's no one else seen Fun Home.
With
Okay.
her keys. Yeah, that's that song in Fun Home where they talk about keys a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the context.
You're welcome.
It's the moment she realizes she's probably a lesbian because she's this woman with this ring of keys and just so like enamored by this woman.
Sure. Yeah, we've all been there.
Great comic. By the way. Fun
Wait,
Home.
you have?
Huh?
You know, like on the New York City subway, you see all kinds of crazy shit.
People got all kinds of keys. Well, let's talk about the keys in this room first, if that's okay. Vadim holds up this keychain, and it is actually more of a key of rust. There are 6 iron keys that have, as Vadim holds them in his fingers, fall apart entirely, and just a rain of dust falls down onto the floor.
Bifurasmos.
But there are 2 bronze keys on the keychain that look like they might be usable. There's one that has an image of a lighthouse on it,
Hmm.
and there's one that has an image of a book on it.
What you got there, Vadim? Those look pretty cool.
Yeah, they're bronze keys. Looks like one accesses part of the lighthouse, and the other is marked with the image of a book, which presumably could be a library. Have we come across any locked doors?
Well, I guess you weren't with us. There was like a whole staircase situation in the area where Haplo died. I don't know if there were any doors locked there, but anyways, if you want someone to hold them, I could hold them.
You know, I think since we all took one of the vials, maybe Vadim could hold on to the keys.
Or Vadim, you could have one of these vials and I'll take that lighthouse key, whatever.
You know, that is very generous of you, Norman, but I think I'll hang on to these.
And he
Okay, he
smiles.
says and claps him a little too hard on the back.
And Vadim claps him right back on the back, like
and you see
even
Norman
harder.
wince without trying to acknowledge it.
Is it weird to say you remind me of my little brother, Radu?
And if you were watching Norman, you might say he was oddly touched by that, but he tries not to show it. And he's like, yeah, whatever.
You know, Norman, at this point, like, you should know, I think we do actually like having you around. You don't need to just keep holding on to stuff to hope that we're going to keep you around.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely why I'm holding on to it. Gosh. Yeah, I'll stop. Now that I feel much better. Thanks, Trill. And he goes and gives her like a big hug and picks her up so her little feet kick a little bit off the air. You guys are the best, he says and grins in a like big fake way.
All of you who are searching this room have given the entirety of this triangular sort of inner lounge area a once over, and you're satisfied that there's nothing else here.
I think, yeah, we should just keep going around clockwise. We could keep going around to the east, and there's like a big old hole in the wall, and there's this, looks like a set of double doors a little further north.
So the 4 of you back in this L-shaped hallway walk to the far eastern edge. This is the end of the hallway. You see that there is rubble in the southeastern corner of the hall in an area where the wall has been blasted entirely apart. There are no intact doors here. However, there is a pile of rubble blocking the doorway. And in order to get through, you're going to need to
We're going to need someone strong.
make an athletics check to climb through.
What do we see through the doors? Like, what can we see down the hallway?
Right now, the rubble is piled up really high. You're going to need to climb up to see into the room.
Gotcha.
All right, well, Magdaruna athletics check. Skull Crusher wants to give that a rip.
So Mag is able to climb up this pile of rubble, up through a hole in the roof, and then down into the next room, and Mag is now by herself in this room.
What's it look like, Mag?
I see.
So here's what Mag sees. You see that you're in this room. There's a foul smell in this room, an animal smell.
Her hands?
The ceiling of the room has fallen in two places. There's a small collapse right in front of Mag, and there's also this larger pile of rubble that she is sort of sitting at the top of right now. There's a door to the north, a double door that has a stone face carved with skulls caked with tangles of moss.
Oh.
Creepy.
Mag, as she's looking around the room, sees animal droppings and crunched up bones scattered around, as though some large creature were stored here for some time, but there's no indication of that creature's continued presence at the moment.
It almost looks like it was used as a pen. There's more doors to the north. They have some kind of sculpture on them. It looks like skulls. It looks menacing. I want to take a close look before we get up to it.
So Mag starts exploring the room, and she notices as she climbs down this pile of rubble that on the eastern wall of the room there are scratch marks. You look closer, and it appears that something has dug its way out of this room through the loose rock of the wall and the soggy swamp dirt. So whatever was being kept in this room seems to have escaped.
Well, whatever it was, it's gotten away. There's a weakness in the wall to the east, and it looks like, whatever it was, it may still be on the loose out there.
As Trill's hearing all of Mag's descriptions and everything, she's just so eager to get in that room. She wants to see all of this and see what's going on.
Okay, if you want to try to climb over the rubble, you can give me an athletics check.
Can I help?
Okay.
Yes.
That would be great. She can try.
I'll boost you from behind.
It's not going to go well.
So it went
What
well?
happened?
Didn't go well.
What happened?
Did you think about javelins?
Robin, what did you roll?
What did I roll? Well, I rolled a 2, and that 2 became a 1.
Okay, could be worse.
Well, the good news for you is that is not a critical failure, so you don't fall and hurt yourself or anything like that.
Lose a finger.
So I'm going to say, since there's no time pressure here, Trill needs a lot of assistance getting up over this
very small.
pile
It's very
of rubble.
big.
So the three of you sort of hand her up gradually further and further up this rubble, and you work your way. You then slide your way down the rubble wall into the room itself.
Yeah, athletics is pretty much one of my worst stats.
Don't be hard on yourself.
It's amusing to me that the athletics is so bad while her acrobatics is so good.
It's a little difficult to envision the person who is exceptionally acrobatic but cannot open a door. Like it's a tough person to visualize.
Low upper body strength.
Does a
but that doesn't really
backflip
work.
and then is like, "Can you open this jar for me?"
Like a
Yeah.
grasshopper, maybe?
So the four of you, after some difficulty maneuvering this pile of rubble,
Poor Trill.
now find yourselves in this room with these two double doors with skulls on them to the north.
Nothing ominous about doors with skulls on them, right?
I have never felt more at home.
I'm getting a cautious feeling about the skull doors.
I always got your back.
One of
there.
us tells the truth, and one of us always lies.
Does anyone recognize any of these, Meg? Is this anything from, I don't know, books you've seen or?
Yeah, I'd love to do some recall knowledge.
Yeah, could I do a swamp lore check on these things? That's probably not going to do it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's unlikely. I mean, these are just sort of depictions of skulls. I don't think that you see anything particularly
Swampy. So I guess maybe a
anything
society.
particularly detailed about it. So yeah, everybody is I can do society checks for everybody, but you have very little to go on just based on these doors on their own. Wouldn't it be great if this were just like, this is the mid-century style, like, in the 50s, everybody
Right.
put skulls on doors? You can tell by the cantilevered teeth that these skulls are in the
Right.
Dutch school.
Norman is just standing at them, running his finger over the cantilevered teeth, being like, not real enough.
We all stop and we have a really sophisticated Antiques Roadshow type breakdown of, okay, well, would it be possible to learn anything more about what kind of creature was in here by the combination of the remains of its food, the claw marks, the digging, the droppings?
Yeah. So
let's
Mag
investigate those
starts
droppings.
investigating along with Trill. I'm going to say that both of you are going to make nature checks to
Like
try
Swamp
to
Lore wouldn't do that?
Yeah, I think Swamp Lore makes sense for Mag to take a look at what's going on in here in case the thing that was living here was endemic to the swamp.
And there's nothing else. Like, Norman's kind of like leaving them to the poop and the digging. There's like looking around for other stuff in the room just to see if he can find any other clues.
And Norman searches around the rest of the room. Mag looks at this and knows that this was a pen that once kept a giant scorpion.
Oh, should be fun.
So is this guy gonna be like stab instead of bite?
Sting.
Poke? I don't know.
Oh, I like
Pins.
poke.
So the four of you are standing here in this room that was once a scorpion kennel.
Let's try these skull doors.
Oh, why
I'm
not?
sure they promise nothing but wonderful things,
Maybe we should knock.
All right. I'm going to open this.
Okay, so
opens the door.
Vadim opens
Get it
the door.
together. I'm opening the door.
Pushes these two, and I'm going to give you a hero point for that. Because it seems like a terrible idea.
It does.
And that's what heroism is. So Vadim pushes these double doors open and
Got your
finds
back, Norman says, hiding.
finds himself looking into a room. There's a blast of cold air that hits you. Not frigidly cold, but colder and damper. As Vadim steps into the room and starts looking around, you see that there are condensed beads of water on the walls that run in rivulets down the countless skulls carved into the stone. Right here, leaning against the wall, there's a moldering human corpse that lies slumped, his hands wedged into a crack as if he died trying to pry a brick loose. In front of you, there are 3 short flights of steps that lead upward to a wider chamber to the north, where a semicircular dais supports an altar of white stone. Beyond the altar, there are 4 stained glass windows, each 20 feet tall, depicting 4 haunting scenes of ghosts rising from overgrown graveyards toward a 4-pointed orange star above.
So Trill's walked in alongside Vadim, and she sees that guy who looks like he died trying to get out of the room, and she immediately says, "Is there a way to wedge these doors open?"
I think that's a very good idea, Trill.
Because if we're gonna go in here, I don't want to end up like that guy.
Ugh, you're telling me.
So Mag walks back out of the room next to Norman and looks for a particularly large piece of rock fallen from the ceiling, and like one that's larger than she can carry. And as she does so, she whispers out of the side of her mouth to Norman, still concealed, "Can you give me some telekinetic help with this?"
Sure, he says.
So
Happily.
Mag wants to try and, like, with Norman's telekinetic assistants hoist a big rock in order to be able to prop one of the doors.
Nice.
Hey, Mag, I don't know what's going to happen in there, but I feel like these are, I don't know, necromancers or something. I have a bad feeling about that skeleton. If you can smash it, smash it. There's probably other stuff, but let's break that guy up. I don't know. I have a bad feeling.
Understood.
So the two of you work together to put large stones in front of these double doors with skulls on them, propping them open. You test them, with your pulling on the door again to make sure that it is not going anywhere, and you feel confident that these doors are not going to close.
Thanks, Mag.
So Trill wants to start walking up these stairs, and while walking up, is very focused. Is investigating around her, trying to notice anything that's not just a standard brick in the stair. Yeah.
So as Trill walks towards the body, she sees his fingertips hitting a crack in the wall. So that's the main thing that you notice, is that it looks as though this person was maybe trying to run away, maybe trying to escape, clamoring in desperation at the bricks on the wall, maybe looking for a secret door, maybe looking for some kind of exit, or maybe they were blinded and running randomly into the wall looking for a way out.
But there's nothing else about the room right now that kind of stands out as no other information other than this crack in the wall.
Not from where you are right now. Just
Okay.
to help the listener out, there's this long hallway with these 3 sets of steps.
Okay, so she's just gone up the first.
Altar.
She's gone up the first set of stairs.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Can Vadim recall knowledge about the 4-pointed star to see if he knows anything with his religion?
And Mag wants to recall knowledge about the body and see if there's anything about it that might be recognizable or, clues
Good
as
call.
to its identity.
Okay, so Mag is going to do a medicine check looking at the body, and Vadim is looking at this 4-pointed star making a religion check. Here's what happens. Mag, as she looks closer at this body, she gets a very good look at it. She gets a very clear sense of what's going on with this body that's collapsed on the wall. It's only been here for a few months, and you can see from the markings on the floor around the body that there's a secret door that this person snuck in through, that were trying to sneak out again, and that they were killed by some sort of claws that scraped at their back as they were trying to escape back through
Maybe some
the secret
pincers.
door. It doesn't look like pincers to Mag.
Okay.
There are claw markings all over this body's back that have a sort of withered, white decay around the edges of the claws.
Mm-mm.
As Vadim looks up towards the 4-pointed star, he's struck by the feeling that something immense and distant is watching him through these stained glass windows. And he remembers a story as he looks up at this 4-pointed star. There are stories that talk about a great river of souls that the dead must walk the shores of on their way to the boneyard to meet with Pharasma to find their final judgment. And then there are stories of predators that lie on the shores to snatch those souls up before they complete their journey. And then, finally, there are stories of the empty death, an entity who feeds on those predators. She finds the souls of the lost to be more delectable when they are already being digested in the gullets of those who think of themselves as the apex hunters of the dead.
Wow.
Ooh, I'm gonna have nightmares.
Vadim is thinking about this because the empty death often appears in illustrations as a ghostly human woman with a single yellow eye in the shape of a four-pointed star filling an otherwise blank face. So the star here leads Vadim to believe that this is a shrine to the empty death.
This must be why Pharasma has called me here.
So as Vadim tells you about what it is that he sees, and the four of you look up at this star, you're each struck by something different. For Vadim, as a champion of Pharasma, you know this entity by the name of Nimboloth. And you are most likely repulsed by any suggestion of worship of the empty death. Many who die in the areas of the world touched by Nimboloth rise as ghosts, which is, of course, anathema to you as a worshiper of Pharasma. And also, those who are consumed by Nimboloth after death cease to exist entirely rather than facing Pharasma's judgment. So you're immediately struck with the feelings evoked by that. To Trill, as a person who is haunted by and fascinated by wisps, by the lights that live out in these swamps, Trill knows that the wisps that live out in places like this are connoisseurs of fear. And you've heard in the stories of survivors with encounters with wisps that this symbol of this four-pointed star is often revered by these lights that live out, because the fear that the empty death inspires in deadly predators is delicious to wisps. To Mag, as a person who is obsessed with the swamp and the dangers hiding in it, you've never heard the empty death or Nimboloth before, but you have read that giants that live far in the infinite marshes in distant lands venerate this sort of four-pointed star and worship something that you have heard called the Bog Mother. And to Norman recognizes this symbol of the four-pointed star from time spent gazing at star charts with Rin Savinxi and looking up at the sky. Norman has seen this symbol used to depict a particular celestial body, a planet that wanders aimlessly through the universe, bringing death and decay to the other planets that it comes near.
Lars, I'm gonna have nightmares tonight.
Sorry.
This is a foul place. I think we should go forward and try and destroy the shrine if possible. Clearly, the worship of Nimboloth is, I believe, at some way at the heart of what is happening here in the Gauntlet.
Aren't you worried at all, man, that what it wants is to destroy us?
Trill is for once speechless. She's just frozen in fear, actually, and has no response to the conversation around her. She's just staring. Now that she's made this connection, she's just staring up at the stained glass.
Look, I think we could go destroy it. Let's talk about that in a second. I don't know if that image means anything to you, but we've all talked to Rin, and you guys know that I like to look at the stars and see what they say, and that always tells me stuff. I think that symbol talks about someone or something that feeds on death, and what we've got at our feet here is a dead body. I'm just saying, I think maybe before we go further, I don't know who this was. It looks like they wanted out of here. I'm sure it wasn't a bad person, but is everyone sure before we go up there we don't want to just, break this thing apart, destroy it? It feels to me like, I don't know. We got a situation where I think this person thing might turn against us.
Perhaps this is one of the Osprey Club members that went missing.
That should be easy to tell. Is it pot-bellied? Does it have a mustache?
Is it missing an arm?
This body has been here for too long. When I investigated it before, I saw that it's been here in this room, deceased for months, and those thieves have only been gone for, those professionals had only been missing for a matter of days.
I see.
Also, like, it's reaching for something. I'm just saying, no disrespect to this thing, but if you guys are willing, I think we should destroy it or burn it and see what this thing is that it's reaching for.
Have we searched it? Was that part of the medicine check that...
So it wasn't, but you are able to search it right now if you'd like to.
Yeah.
Let's see what it's got on it.
Okay.
Norman, pass it down.
You find on the body of this corpse, you find on this corpse, as you roll it over, that it has a nice looking rapier, a dagger, 2 vials of strange liquid, and on its hand, there's a silver ring. You do not see, Mag is correct, you do not see any indication that this is either Beffrey or the Jeffrey triplets.
You know, Meffrey always gets elided. It's unfair. So Norman magnanimously goes, well, I've already got a dagger and a rapier. Anyone need those? As he sort of reaches for the potion and the rings.
Vadim slaps Norman's hand down.
You remind me a lot of Radu. Always charging in the head.
That's me, he says and just grins.
Why don't we let Trill identify the ring and we each try to look at the others? I'll work with the rapier, perhaps, or the dagger.
Is this rapier nicer than yours, perhaps?
Well, it's no Aldori dueling sword, I'll tell you that.
I would never have suggested that. An Aldori's dueling sword is a beautiful weapon.
Fine-tuned precision
So supple,
instrument.
so balanced.
I mean, just look at the curve on it. It's so elegant. And the watermark on the
Tomb
blade.
of death.
Oh my god.
Just rattling on.
Yeah, he's
our
pulling it
weapons.
out and he's just like, quoting all the technical specifics. Like,
It's about 36 inches long,
Trill, what can
gentle-
you tell me about this ring? Norman says, ignoring them.
Right.
And Trill is still just staring at the star. She's like, missed this whole conversation. And Norman's putting that ring in her hand. She's like, wait, what? Huh? What?
So Trill has just been transfixed and suddenly like a ring appears in her field of vision.
What? What do you want me to do? What?
Can you tell me
Oh.
anything about this? It's
So
my new ring.
Trill uses Detect Aura.
It's my new
ring. So Trill uses Read Aura on this ring
Sorry,
and
Read
does not detect any magic on it.
Okay.
All right.
And then what
about
about and then with the potion as well?
the vials? Yeah, the 2 vials.
Or the vials.
Of
So you
liquid.
spend another minute looking at each of these vials. One of them appears to be an alchemical solution, and one of them appears to be some sort of magic potion.
Ooh.
Okay, so
Can
Trill kind of holds them both and well, this one is another one that it's just like the others. I have no idea, but this one's got some magic in it.
I knew that.
She narrows her eyes. Did you? Did you really?
Well, who needs a potion? We don't know what it is. I'll get my ring back. And he sort of does his little.
Could we figure out what this potion is, Lars? The magical
Yeah,
one?
you can spend 10 minutes identifying it using any of the magic skills, which is to say nature, religion, occultism, or arcana.
While she does that, can Norman examine the cracks in the wall around where the body was?
Well, does anyone?
Sure.
Yeah, so I'll use occultism to figure out what that.
So Trill is going to spend 10 minutes trying to look at this potion to figure out what it is, and she realizes that it is a minor healing potion.
Right. Well, I'm gonna keep that minor healing potion since I took the 10 minutes to figure it out.
perhaps it would better suit Mag, perhaps?
Yeah, Meg, do you have one?
What a great question.
I mean, she did lose her fingers last time we went in
Oh, no,
here.
you're-
It's like,
We all remember what happened with the fingers.
Yes, now they are red and stinky.
Do you have one, Meg?
I don't.
Mag, why don't you take this one then?
I'd be happy to.
Would you mind taking a look at the rapier and the dagger as well? I think they might serve us.
Sure.
So she takes a look at the dagger for a minute, finds no trace of magic there, and does detect that the rapier is magical.
Huh. That rapier's got some magic to it. It's kind of sparkly. That's cool.
That's why I thought you'd like it, Vadim. Norman chimes in.
Can Vadim spend 10 minutes using religion to try and identify it?
So Vadim spends 10 minutes rolling this rapier around, swishing it through the air, trying to get a sense of what it might be, and identifies it as a +1 rapier, which is to say it is more accurate than your average rapier, with magic guiding its attacks to hit their target more precisely.
Norman, are you sure you wouldn't want to trade out, for the magic rapier?
Well, I've got chompers. I mean, if you are going to use your dueling sword, I'd take it, but, friend to friend. Do what you think's right.
I'll stick with my dueling sword if you want this.
Mag steps forward and takes the magic rapier in one hand and reaches into Norman's tooth pouch with another, extracts a new tooth, and begins crafting the tooth onto the end of the rapier just to make Norman feel a little more comfortable with it.
Thanks, Mag. That means more than you'll ever know.
What is that? The wire? That's never going to stay on.
Oh no, I have a number of different. This kind of wire is perfect for fixing this. See, it's double forged.
Oh my God! Would you
Yeah.
look at that? Like
Yeah,
for
that-
asthma, it works.
That's
I
right,
don't know
there's a
how,
Trill's
but it
breathing
does.
is getting heavier.
Triangular.
Trill is freaking out.
We've been forcing Trill
We've
to
been here
spend
for an hour.
like
You've been in here
looking
for
at
quite
stuff
some time.
while she slowly loses her mind with
All right.
terror.
Is anyone
so-
with me in destroying this body?
So Norman starts looking at destroying this body now that you've gotten everything off of it.
That sounds right. Yep.
So how are you doing that?
Maybe Norman, let's take it back in the other room, burn it there.
I guess burning it always feels right to me, but if you guys have something else that you know of that would work, I'm down.
We need to destroy the temple.
Trill? Are you there? What's up?
Trill, you sound really weird right now.
Are you? What's going on?
Yeah, Trill's like, this place is evil. We need to destroy it. This place is evil.
So Norman spends a good length of time burning this body in the next room down.
The scorpion pen.
And after about a half hour, you feel
Poor
satisfied. You feel satisfied that this body is really not recognizable as a body anymore.
Should we check out the cracks in the wall, or you guys want to go check out the altar? Norman says, wiping his hands off half an hour after burning a body.
I mean, if you want to look at the cracks in the wall, look at them.
I'll take a quick look.
So Norman starts running his hands around this area on the brick, and you can see that there is a skull that rotates onto the wall that is slightly turned. So you're able to pretty easily go click, turn the skull a little bit to the side, and a secret door swings open, leading to the west back into that triangular lounge area where you found the keys about 3 hours ago.
Cool.
Well, we need to be here
Ooh.
until dark, and we're healthy, so so far.
Okay, let's go to the altar. Come on, let's destroy that. I'm with Trill. This is not a good place.
Trill's gonna stay very close to Vadim on this one because she just has the sense that he gets all this death stuff.
If you want to, you can start casting shield in perpetuity. Like you don't have a physical shield, but you can start repeating the shield cantrip for about 10 minutes before it starts fatiguing you.
Oh yeah, cool. Let's do that.
Okay. So Trill starts repeatedly raising a magical shield as she advances behind Vadim.
So Norman gets up as close as he can behind everyone, but hides sort of in one of these little arrow windows.
David wants somebody to be looking for traps, but Mag is not good at that, and that's not her thing. So
The
Mag is
demon
going
can
to
do that.
Mag will raise her shield then.
As you step into this chamber to the north, getting closer to this large altar, you see 2 piles of moss resting against the wall to your right, to the east. As you squint at it, as Vadim is searching around, he sees that this moss is growing on 2 ancient, decrepit skeletons. As he approaches the altar, he sees that there is a secret panel on the northern side of the altar.
Can he go up and look at it more closely?
So Vadim steps around the northern side of the altar to investigate this panel.
Mag follows.
And Mag follows close behind.
Trill freezes because they're getting close to the altar, and suddenly the 2 big strong guys she's been following are moving away from her, and she just freezes in her steps.
So Vadim is up in the far northern end of the room behind the altar. Mag is slightly to the west of the altar, walking around to approach Vadim, and Trill is lagging behind in the entrance to this wider area of the chapel. Norman is hiding around the corner in an arrow slit. It's a big arrow slit.
Oh, very big. He's a slender guy.
Yeah.
And it's as Vadim approaches this secret panel hidden on the altar that the 2 moss-covered skeletons start to shake back and forth violently as a cold blue glow washes over them and then seems to drag them up to their feet. The room is then filled with a faint but disorienting hum as the blue lights wash violently around these skeletons, carrying them straight towards the altar and compelling their limbs to flail and their teeth to chatter as they walk towards you. And we will pick up from there.
What?
Next time.
Nightmare fuel!
The Roots of Ruin is a Tabletop Gold production, produced under the Paizo Incorporated Community Use Policy. The Roots of Ruin uses trademarks and/or copyrights owned by Paizo Inc., used under Paizo's Community Use Policy. We are expressly prohibited from charging you to use or access this content. Paizo does not recognize, endorse, or sponsor this project in any way. Original characters and content are the property of Tabletop Gold. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com. We at Tabletop Gold would love to hear from you. Email us at letters@tabletopgold.com and find all our social links at tabletopgold.com.